Hi! Guess what? We're going to start a little differently. Hey, it's me. I want to kind of explain the deal here tonight and what we've been doing for the past, 12 days, and we'll be doing for the next week or so. We're recapping the Freedom Convoy live. Yeah, man. And now you are too. We're about to play some footage leading up to 7 o'clock in 10 minutes. Yes, that's in 10 minutes, Eastern Standard Time in 10 minutes. We have a couple of special guests. Kristen Nagel will be with us, as will Maggie Braun, two women who are strong women and moving forward in the freedom thing, do a lot of really cool stuff. So yeah, come on back or just stick around. Glad you're here, man. Yahoo! Okay, ready? Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Huh? Yeah.
No one can tell me what is what. This is my body. I did hurt. I did took the vaccines. And I'm telling you frankly, my body has changed. And the doctor tells me, my eyesight has weakened. And the period, the time he tells me, since 2 years, I have a back pain.
For this time of day, although we do understand the numbers will be growing as the time goes on. We're going to go for a cruise down to the other blockade where they were having some issues. Yeah, new equipment. I got a phone. And then my son was really smart. He told me to turn the phone sideways. And then I found a tripod thing on the side of the road. So yeah, it makes a difference. Thank you. Thank you for noticing. I'm glad that it's a better visual experience for you guys. Notice mailboxes and addresses written on the sides of the vehicles. It has been purported that that may be able to help them stand their ground for longer.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, it's been purported that it'll help them stand their ground for longer because they now have an address. They're not just parked on the street, they have an address. A little bit of rain today, so... Yeah, no changes in positioning down here as far as I can tell. Now, one of the things the truckers have been really good at here is getting along with the police as far as they've asked for the lanes to be cleared, so they've cleared the lanes. There's access lanes to everyone here, to every single street downtown. So right here, there's a lot of empty space, and it's been suggested by both Ottawa citizens and the truckers that it would make more sense for us to occupy this space down here near the Parliament that has all the open parking than to plug up the streets. But so far, city ain't listening.
You're now entering Woodstock 2.
Woodstock 2, you hear him? He says you're now entering Woodstock 2.
Woo!
Yeah, buddy!
Freedom!
bunch of hooligans out in the streets, eh?
Too much of it.
Too much. Too
Yeah,
much fun.
exactly.
It's kind of hard to wrap your head around all the good feels. It's like, what the hell? Somebody distributed free drugs or something? No! This is what freedom feels like. Yeah.
You gotta find a true democracy.
True democracy.
You gotta be best.
True democracy. Somebody really wants to find justice. Freedom! Oh, what's this? See, you'll see the police officers with the red badge on the back. It says police liaison. Well, they're the ones that they send in first to try to negotiate, try to make it all go away without any kind of force. And then when they don't make their headway, they bring in the brutes to enforce the will of those uppers. Whenever I see a big gathering of police, you never know what's going to happen. So we'll go show you the front lines and then we'll keep our eyes peeled, huh? Now, here's another story. The city of Ottawa refused to come down and clean the streets. Guess what? We did it. I think the streets look cleaner than they ever have.
Well, we're the only pushers on the street right now.
You're the only pushers on the street. Yeah, there you go. Crime has gone down significantly in the city as well. Very hard for people to ignore the signs that peace and freedom are here. But mainstream media will do what they do to try to skew the views. So here's the police line they put up about 5 days ago. We've snowed it in and tagged it up.
Don't forget it! Justin! Whoa!
Some Canadians have a little spunk, huh? Hey, he's a spunky Canadian. But clearly this isn't just a bunch of loud, outspoken protesters. There's families and everybody on the streets, and it's really quite amazing to witness, to be honest. This is the Supreme Court here. Wow, you look like a couple of slippery creatures. You have obviously a sufficient amount of vitamin K.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
As we need.
So tell us about the bananas.
We wanted to. Yeah, they're warm. First of all.
They're warm and they make a statement.
We want to bring some joy.
Oh, well,
Yeah. Boost morale.
I gotta tell you, it's very appealing.
Ah.
All right, thanks very much, guys.
No problem.
Oh yeah, if you know the Church of Trailer Park Bubbles guy, tell him he should come down to the Bubble Bus. We'd love to meet him. Oh, by the way, Rogan, come on down, man. Hey, Joe, I want to meet you, man. Come to the Bubble Bus. Oh, and Russell Brand, you owe me a visit to the Bubble Bus because I bought a backstage pass to your thing. COVID canceled the show. So if you're in town, come on down. It'd be great to see you guys. Honestly, I have so much to learn. That guy's walking around with a case of beer. It looks like he's giving away to the truckers.
What's up, man?
How you doing?
together.
You gonna take my picture?
Yeah, here, Maggie, take our picture.
He's taking a video of you right
We're
now.
taking a video of everybody right now. It's not even us.
We are very live.
Yeah.
Smile.
Well,
Stand in front of Justin's house with you guys.
yeah, it was fun. But we came back and brought some friends.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Bear Hug
Where's
2.0.
your bus?
It's at the corner of Slater and.
Oh, I saw it.
Yeah, just down from the stage, the street that the stage is on.
Okay,
I can show you where it is later.
Yeah, we were at Confederation.
They have a tent. They have everything they need.
Yeah, well, we were at Confederation Park, and then they kind of kicked us out. So, but we got a nice little spot over there. Quite happy with it. Yeah.
The last time I saw your bubble bus was at Peter Burger.
Oh yeah, you know Roy and Nicole's here.
Are they?
Roy and Nicole from Peter Burgers are here. So is Ryan, the guy that I met at Peter Burgers. So yeah. Oh, look at you guys. You guys are a friggin' breath of fresh air. You know that?
You are too. Breath of fresh air.
Thank you very much for everything, guys. We love you. All
Hello,
right.
Toronto.
Yeah, buddy.
Yep. See, and this is what the truckers are doing on their off time. They're cleaning up the city sidewalks that the city.
Instead of babysitting you guys.
He said he'd.
No, nobody's joining you guys. You've even lost Pierre Polyev.
Would you like to share your opinion? It seems that you might have a bit of a different opinion than many of the people around here.
Well, yeah, I do. Yeah,
Okay,
well, I
sure.
share the opinion of like 90% of the people in Canada who want you guys to just go away. You're closing the borders. You're closing the borders in Coutts and in Windsor, and I hear in Manitoba now too. You're cutting off you're killing people's jobs. I have a brother who works in Cambridge at the Ford plant, and he just told me he's been laid off. It's wrong. It's really, really wrong. You guys are hurting a lot of people,
Okay, so
including yourselves.
okay, when a trucker was asked the same question, he said he didn't like any of that, but unfortunately because he can't do cross-border runs now,
You can.
well, he can only do 2 a month because they have to, once they come across the border, they have to actually isolate for 14 days.
You can get vaccinated.
But they've decided that they don't want to do that.
Well, then that's their choice. Then you don't do cross-border. You just do Canada.
But
I don't see the issue here.
well,
I really don't.
What, that people have a choice to take the vaccine or not?
Yeah.
And without
yeah.
negative ramifications, do you think it's fair that people that choose not to get penalized, kind of?
I don't think you're getting penalized.
You don't think so?
No.
So the truckers can only do 2 runs instead of 10, and now they can't. feed
Yeah,
their
but the
families.
Americans are doing the same thing. So I don't see what the point of the whole this is.
No, I don't think it's a Canadian-American thing. This is clearly going on.
I can't cross the border unless I'm vaccinated. I can't go to Florida unless I'm vaccinated. So what makes you guys special?
Well, I don't think they're special.
No, you do. That's exactly what you're saying.
Well,
I can't do international travel or leave the country unless I'm vaccinated.
okay.
And either should you be able to do that.
Okay, no, I don't disagree.
And the Americans,
if you're
it's
saying
the same thing coming the other way. They don't, the Americans are the same. So I don't know what you guys are fighting for. You guys don't even know what you're fighting for. You guys change your mind
Well,
all the
let's-
time.
let's-
One day it's overthrow the government. Next day it's mandates. The next day it's vaccines. You have different leaders all the time. You had Pat King on your side, and then you throw them away.
Business owner. I'm retired, so like I'm just here to fight for fucking no mandate. No mandates. Just say no
Mandates
mandates.
are going to end. You guys are being taken for what's called useful idiots.
Useful idiots.
Okay, all of your friends. No, listen.
Don't label. Don't
You
label.
know what a useful idiot is? Someone who's getting taken advantage of. And you guys are getting taken advantage of.
What are you?
What?
What are you? What do you mean? What are we supposed
Well,
to
are
listen
you,
to you?
okay, we're the useful idiot. What does that make you?
You guys are being taken
What are
advantage
you?
of.
What are you?
I'm not the one here
What are
protesting.
A
you?
useful idiot. What are you?
What are you?
What are you in this
I
scenario?
represent 80-90% of Canadians who don't agree with you guys.
Is
Where
that
do you
what
get
you
your
are?
thoughts? Your stats?
Is that what you are?
The CBC? Where do you get yours from? Global. Fuck, fucking
being
news,
out,
idiot.
From being out in the
Listen
real
to
world.
the other side, you fucking moron.
Well, no.
Listen to the other
Listen
side.
to you.
Well, listen
that
no,
doesn't
listen
help
to you.
That doesn't help any of us.
Fuckwad that's wrecking Canada. It's people like
That's
you that
not
have
fair.
never put a fucking dime
That's
in
not
this
fair.
country.
So come on. No. I want
my whole fucking life up.
Okay, well, I'm sorry about the language there, folks. And it, I like this to be a family show, but sometimes we get into it and it happens. Thank you so much for bearing with me here. We are here in the studio. For those of you who wondered, yes, this is actually, it's not a weird background. I'm actually in the Church of Bubbles right now, up at Soul's Path, where I've had the great privilege of being able to see our guests here. Both of our guests here have been up here at different times. And I see one of them have just stepped into the studio, and man, are we ever lucky, because it's actually not only one, there's like two.
Hi.
Yeah. Hello.
Hi, how are you? Sorry, I was being blocked from coming in from my phone, so I'm a little bit late, but we made it.
No problems. So Kristen, this is, for those of you who don't know, Kristen Nagle, who has an incredible past. I don't even know where to start with her. And an incredible present. I mean, and an incredible gift as a present in your arms right now. How about you introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Kristen Nagle, a former nurse of 14 years that started speaking out very early on in 2020. That's when I lost my job, was put under investigation by my College of Nurses, continued on. We formed Canadian Frontline Nurses. And when I look back and think of everything that we have done, it's pretty incredible. Didn't know it at the time, because you're just in it and you just keep moving forward and you do what you have to do, and it's survival. But since time has gone past and I've been away, it's actually pretty amazing to look back on and reflect.
It does seem like a different world at times, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
And you are living a different world kind of life right now. What are you doing? Where are you at?
Currently Costa Rica. We spent 3 months in Nicaragua. So my husband took parental leave with baby girl Adley here, and we rented out our house and took off for the winter.
Wow, what an amazing thing.
Yeah.
Now, you've been in all kinds of situations. I mean, there's so much to talk about, and I know that you've got things on your mind and hands right now, so you won't be with us for too long. Is there anything that you'd really like to get to right away? As far as I want to know your story, like as much of it as you're comfortable speaking to, and also how you found out about the convoy, what you did with that, and how it changed your perspective.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So you want to know about how far back do you want to go? Like from the beginning of 2020 to the convoy, or where do we want to start?
Yeah, highlight reels of all the years. Let's just say that we're speaking to somebody who has never seen you before, doesn't know you, but you got to give them enough of the depth to, know.
Yes. So 2015, my first son was born. I call it divine intervention that came upon me to learn about what foods to feed him as a baby. I got really passionate about learning about foods, realizing that was my gateway door into the corruption of the medical system and all the lies we've been told. I went to school at the Canadian School of Natural Nutrition, became a holistic nutritionist. And that's when all these aha moments came over me. And I realized that was the most in-depth training on health I had received. And I'd already been a nurse for over a decade at this time. And 2018, my second son was born. And that's when I really started speaking out about childhood immunizations. So I started to get into trouble with my College of Nurses in 2018. I was brought into disciplinary action about 2019. And at that time, I was not ready to lose my license. I told them, you're right, I'm wrong, and I won't do it again. I didn't realize that 2020 was going to come so soon. Because as I was walking out from that meeting, I told them that if anything comes after my kids, there's something that's going to stop me from speaking out. And then 2020 came. I knew what was going on, started speaking out pretty boldly, organized a freedom rally in my hometown of London, Ontario. That's what got me on the media, radar. And found another nurse, Sarah Shajunin, speaking out. We went to Washington, D.C. with some American nurses, spoke on a Health and Freedom stage January 6th. With Del Bigtree and some, Nicole Saratek, Nurse Erin. And when we flew home, we became domestic terrorists because, we, of course, were there to riot and storm the Capitol. And we were terminated from our jobs. Yes.
Literally,
Yeah.
I remember that headline
Yes.
came out.
Yes. So we were terminated from our jobs, placed under further investigation by the College of Nurses. And yeah, that's when things really started. We formed Canadian Frontline Nurses. We kept speaking out at protests, at rallies, traveled across Canada to do Q&As to bring awareness. And we organized the national hospital rallies across Canada on September 1st and September 13th in solidarity with healthcare workers that were going to receive the shot, or not receive, that were being forced to. It was jab or job. And then got tired, and then the convoy came and lifted us up, and I ended up being there for all of it, from the beginning to the end, and stayed an extra week to decompress everything that had happened. And then following that, I ended up marching with James Top 144 kilometers, and then yeah, met up with you many times along the way.
That's something, right? And I'll tell you, the ones that I love are the ones that just keep on going and keep on going and keep on going, and they don't even necessarily know what the next leg of the journey looks like. But
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It's been a wild ride. And then coming out to Nicaragua, I realized we crossed over the American border to fly out. It was much cheaper to fly out of Detroit, and I realized that I'm on their watch list. We were pulled over, and we were held for a bit in a waiting room. They brought me out, asked very specific questions about where we were going, why, what flight numbers, all these things, and then brought me out again and told me it was because of January 6th. A very, very kind man spoke to me, and he said, I think you know why this is happening. And unfortunately, it's because of this. It looks like you've been through a lot, and I hope this trip is good for you and your family. He's like, this will happen again. And he's like, and the next time someone may not speak to you the same way that I am. He's like, I just want to prepare you.
So basically, you got lucky getting through, is what you're saying. And it's a time that you go through. Can that happen when you come back?
No, because I'm a Canadian citizen. It's different. I'm on the American watch list. This was going into the States.
Okay.
Because of January 6th. Yes, because, the rioting and storming of the Capitol.
January 6th, you went down to the States and gave a speech, or can you?
Yeah, I spoke on a health and freedom stage with Sarah Shajunian, another Canadian nurse, 4 other American nurses, one being Nicole Saratek, the nurse whistleblower that did the undercover nurse that did the expose, Nicole Saratek, several other nurses. I mean, Del Bigtree was there, Kevin Jenkins, David Dr. Martin, and and so just for speaking on this stage, it was great. Yeah, I had no idea what was going on. It was funny because we spoke early, and we're heading back to the hotel room. My husband calls me. He's like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine. What's going on?" I was like, "There's lots of sirens," and he filled me in on what was going on. But yeah, but domestic terrorist over here. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So that brings you right up to the present. And then just quickly, and we're going to leave it at this. The trucker convoy. What did it mean to you? What do you think it meant to Canada? And for those who want to recreate it, what can we say to them?
Well, hope. I think it brought us all hope, and it sparked something within us that I think have been sleeping for a long time. I think we were exhausted. I think we were getting pretty defeated and deflated, and the truckers brought us all renewed hope and strength. And I think for me, the lesson afterwards, the lesson for me at the convoy was that with community, with love, we can solve anything that comes at us. And we proved that. Anytime they threw an obstacle at us, a curveball, anything, we rallied together as community with one thing in mind, one goal in mind, and that was freedom. And we stood together in solidarity and unity, and we solved everything that they tried to come at us. And that's what's happening right now. I don't know if you've seen the latest updates, but the rally I talked about November 20th that I organized way back in 2020, that took a long time to go to trial. I received 11 summons throughout 2020 and 2021 for either speaking or organizing rallies. And finally, that trial happened on January 30th and 31st. And the verdict came out February 6th, where I was found guilty of organizing said rally and fined $20,000 plus court costs. Mm-hmm. So it's been a busy couple days. Canada has rallied behind talking about community, solidarity, unity. There's two gifts and goes out. And Canada is speaking. They're showing their voice. They're saying, we will not be bullied. We will not be silenced. We will not be scared to use our voice. And the monetary donations coming in are speaking volumes of that we're not going to let the government bully us into silence.
And it's a necessary component, as much as people may or may not want to talk about it, man. I mean, what are you going to do? You have to, we have to live. We got bills to pay. And yeah, wow, that's awesome. Well, I'm going to thank you so much for coming with us here tonight and introduce our next guest, whom I'm sure you know. Absolutely. Okay, well, Kristen.
Hey, thank you for having me. It was good to pop on. Sorry, so short. I think we were going to talk about the big win of the Emergencies Act, but since then it was this fine and everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we maybe, now that we've got like a panel here, can just give the download? Are there time frames where things have to be done? What's the deal?
Yeah, go ahead. I was just going to say I was very honored to be a part of it. We got in. We were one of the first to start that on February 15th. We got that injunction in, and yeah, I think I was surprised. I have lost all hope in our court systems, all hope for any kind of right reasoning. But to get a unconstitutional, unjustified verdict was quite shocking. So I am very curious that a lot of people are moving forward with this with new suits for cost and suing. So I'm just going to sit back and see where this goes with everyone. Hopefully, it's a huge shift.
So you think there's going to be a lot of individual suits that are going to be filed? And what about any class actions that you know of? People have been asking about that.
I haven't heard of a class action. I did see some people gave out an email address that people could get into. I already have a lawsuit in from the very beginning. So yeah, I'm assuming that there's going to be class action lawsuits.
They're working on a class action and some individual suits going in too. But there was one other thing before, if Baby lets me, I was going to say, but she might have got me distracted from it. But this might be my time to say goodbye unless it pops into my head real quick. What I was going to add on to that. Oh, that's what I was going to add. So another win, quick, if she lets me. The media has loved covering every one of my losses, especially every monetary loss, every fine that has come against me. Just recently was the defamation one of June 2023 that we lost, and that was a huge fine that we had to pay. The media is not covering this $20,000 one. No one has touched it. And there's a local reporter in London that loves to dish out dirt on me, and the mainstream media is not touching it. And to me, this is a huge win. They know that public opinion is not on their side, and they know they can't cover this story because it'll just be the end of them because they're seeing the shift. So I just wanted to point that out as another win in the media, that they're not covering this because they know they've lost public opinion.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So good to hop on quick. I'm glad that was a lot of information really fast. So thank you very much. And Jim, it's always so great to see you. And I'll see you both sometime soon, I'm sure. All right.
Bye. Bye. Honored to meet you, Kimberly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh wow, Maggie Hope Braun is here, and we're gonna get her to introduce herself here because man, she's a powerhouse as well. She's been doing so much. I mean, she just kind of lit herself on fire a year and change ago. Not literally, okay, but just from an activity standpoint, and has achieved a lot since then. So I'm gonna let her do the voiceover as we watch some of this footage here. Okay. Tell us. Give me when you found out about the convoy.
Oh, I was just at my little cottage on the lake here in Peterborough and sitting there with my kids. And I'm a prepper, so I don't know. I was busy just prepping things and trying to find ways to escape to Mexico and get the kids out of the country. And then, I don't know. I've always been really big on my own mental health and everything, but it was hard. And I remember saying to my family, I'm doing everything I can to keep my head on straight here and stay positive, but it's getting really hard. And then the convoy came. So, yeah, I think I just must have saw it on Facebook or YouTube heading across the country. I wasn't on TikTok at the time. So,
Okay. And you hadn't done any real social media. You have no social media presence. You, to speak of,
well,
or you did?
I did actually. I was in the homeschooling realm. So I did a lot of homeschooling groups and yeah, gardening and homesteading stuff like that. So yeah.
And I guess that's a group that is predisposed to this message of freedom, I would expect.
Absolutely. Yeah, the homeschooling moms were awesome. There was a lot of us down there. So this really bothered us. We were already at home with our kids, and then you throw our husbands into the house all day too, and we got to deal with that. And then we're dealing with all of our activities being shut down and being not allowed in the YMCA because we're not, vaccinated. So it just ruined our lives.
Wow. Well, I mean, yeah. Well put. Well put. And then the trucker thing came and what happened then? What'd you do?
Oh, I just sat there in my house and I was like, I'm looking at the kids. I'm looking at my husband who's home, thankfully. So he's at home now. So I'm looking, and I've been a stay-at-home mom for like 12 years. So this is my opportunity to go and do something again, right? So I hadn't been, it's probably like 14, 15 years out of college at that point. I've been like a good stay-at-home mom. And then all of this happened, and I've always been kind of an activist type person, and yeah, I just knew that I had to go, and I mentioned it to my husband. I was like, you can go, thinking, okay, send the men, right? Seems to be a man thing, and and eventually he just brought home like a jerry can and a Canadian flag for the truck and hat and a scarf for me and sent me on my way. He knew I couldn't stay at home. So I hooked up with some Peterborough people and went down. And then I went back on my own because I felt really safe there.
I guess, right?
What videos are you going to show tonight?
Well, these are all videos lined up that happened today. So I've got 2 daytime videos and I've got 2 nighttime videos. They're they vary in length from like 45 minutes to it's from about 30 minutes to 45 to an hour, right? So I've got lots of videos, and I mean, I took my time with it.
Yeah.
So it works as background footage if we can use it as prompters to remind us of what we were feeling at the time. Or
I just thought ACL was signed on that truck where you were signing. So, yeah. Hi ACL, if you're watching later.
ACL, buddy. I think he was going to perform somewhere, I think. Today. There's people out in Windsor. Do you know anybody going out to Windsor today? And
oh yeah, people are going everywhere. It's a busy time of year as far as reunion and I would say celebration after what happened with the ruling. I think we all can just like pat ourselves on the back and say, okay, guys, we did a good job. We did it. We stood up in our generation, and we'll all do it again if we have to. And when and wherever we're called to act next, right? Like there's good people in this world that will stand up when necessary. And we did it.
Okay, I'm with you. And I'm going to take that bit of advice because up until this moment, I have not. Okay. Yeah. I've been very, very slanted towards we need to do stuff now. We need to actually have serious conversations. Look, it's fine when there's only a handful of us and we're just fumbling forward. But what if the political favor starts to come our way, and then it's a whole other thing that we've got to deal with. So maybe you could talk to that, because I know that you are very, very active in your, in your community and helping other people get active in their communities.
So, yeah, as far as I think it's really good to pause and reflect on where we are and to notice the change in the political landscape of the entire world as well. Since this happened in Ottawa, there's been a war breakout in the Middle East, and we kind of all saw that coming, I think. And there's endless things to worry about, and the human mind wants to naturally look for every threat. But in this time that we're going into, it's really more of a psychological battle, and their weapon is division, and they want us to be exhausted. So my approach is to take care of myself first and my family and my home, and then I can hear with more clarity what it is that I'm supposed to do, and then I can do it because I'm not overwhelmed and exhausted and unable to take the next step. And I really watched I think Jordan Peterson, he talks about this a lot too, clean your own house before you get out there in the community. So that's an important aspect. And we really need to keep our heads right now, because things are turning in our favor to an extent. And I kind of knew it would, because this can only go on for so long, that level of tyranny encroaching before mankind pushes back, right? And it's going to keep doing that as long as humans are here on the earth. And I think the good guys do always win in the end. Like, people have this idea that it's going to be just terrible and it's going to get so bad. But
and for those of you who might, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but for those of you who might wonder how you can define who the good guys are, the good guys end up showing up out of the middle of nowhere and bring truckfuls of goods to help others whom they don't even know who will receive it.
Absolutely. We saw what humanity can do when we need to, and what the people can do, and how many of us there are, and that we actually have all the resources. We are the power in this country. So moving forward, I think if everyone just continues to do what they feel called to do, and that's how we win, and just to do the right thing. It's a matter of integrity, and do the right thing no matter the consequences, and we win. And that might be different for you, and it might be different for me, and everyone has their own path.
But we have to listen to our internal version of what's right to us. Is that what you're saying?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. Do we get to choose the internal what's right for us, or is that something that's imposed upon us by our circumstances? Or
I think so. Absolutely. Yeah. If your health is down, you can only do so much. If your finances need attention, you can only do so much. If your children, it depends on your circumstances for sure. What you can do, what you can get involved in. And ultimately, it's really about bringing back community, right? And taking care of the people around you. That's what we found in Ottawa there, right? So
what a wonderful feeling too.
Yeah. That was my first time feeling connected to humanity in a really long time. So
yeah, and to many swaths of it. I mean, I remember the Quebecois guy who had never spoken English and hated English people, but he made it a point to blurt out in broken English how much he loves me because I'm English. And this is the first time that the English, oh my God, not because it was me, just because I was somebody who was English, and now he loves you too,
I just loved it. I'd never seen so many different cultural groups in one place celebrating and coming together for one cause. So
yeah,
that was beautiful.
It really did cross all swaths. And now that leads me to a question that I have for anybody who's given this some thought for any period of time. What is the commonality between those who have complied with the things and maybe been a little bit slow on the uptake of the way this thing went down, and those who kind of said no right from the beginning? What do you think the difference is?
There's certain kinds of people who will stand up to bullies, and certain ones who will kind of step back and watch and not want to get in the conflict. So I've heard it said that a lot of people there are more high confrontation people, and I believe that. I'm not one to necessarily back down from a meaningful confrontation. Confrontation that isn't going to go anywhere, I stay really far away from, but confrontation that will actually matters and will accomplish something, that's something that I don't know. It's like, what do we have in common, Jim?
Well, then that must mean that you're not worried about being friends with everyone. It's not important to you to be friends with everyone.
That's right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Like I'll be. It says, I like certain principles. To be on good terms as far as possible with all people, right? But at the same time, you got to stand up for your principles and what you believe is right. And when you see people getting hurt, that should be an indication to get involved, I would think. So
yeah, I guess that comes down to the individual conscience. I find that the things that are the right things, my body will be in motion before my mind has a chance to think about it.
Yep.
I try to trigger it that way because I've sat actually, I know on these interviews I don't talk about myself, but I'm going to talk about it just a little bit. When I was young, when I was a teenager, I saw an abuse happening across the street. This gentleman was beating this woman in the backseat of a car, and I was like 12 or something, and my grandma said, "Go out and and I didn't feel I had the capability to go out, and I never did, and I didn't intercede at that time, and it forever hurts me that I didn't. Now I did narc. Okay, I went to school and I said I saw this woman being beaten, and or whatever, but it made me, that helplessness was a feeling that I don't ever want to feel again.
Absolutely. I can resonate with that as well. When I lived in New Guinea as a small child, there was a lot of abuse that happened behind the scenes in the village. And one of my earliest memories is witnessing that and feeling, like I got to do something about this, but I couldn't. And as I got older, there was a certain family in school that was bullied, every single one of them. There must have been 5 or 6 of these kids, and they always picked on the oldest one. It was terrible. And the whole schoolyard surrounded this one grade 8-year-old boy, I guess. And I was in grade 2. And I couldn't believe everyone was just going to sit there and watch them, beat up this boy who wasn't fighting back. And I just saw it for a few minutes, not even. And then I walked into the middle of the circle and I just told them, stop it. And they stopped it. So yeah.
In grade 2.
Yeah, grade 2. It's like it's true. Your body takes over and you know what to do, right? We all, yeah.
This was referred to the other night as righteous rage. It was Johnny Rowe, the Wellington regular, mentioned righteous rage.
Absolutely.
Or righteous indignation. Sometimes when things are crappy, we got to stand up. You can't just shut up or else they'll get crappier.
Yeah.
So talk to me about some of your activities during the convoy. What were you doing? How were you spending your time? Where did you accommodate? Were you financed? I mean, did you self-finance? How did that all work out for you?
Yeah, so like I said, I went down the second weekend. I went down on the second weekend of the convoy with my friend Bobby, and we went to college together, but we hadn't seen each other. And I had recently moved from British Columbia, so Bobby saw that I was interested in going, and she came down with me, and we went down just for the Saturday. And we went in and just loved it. We parked the car and walked in, and everything was all the trucks were honking, and the Sikh men were there, and they were handing out chai tea, and it was just beautiful. There was dancing, and we checked out all the different blocks that we could, walked around, got a good sense of it, and then we were driving back to Peterborough that day, so we ended up leaving at a certain time, and our phones were frozen. And I couldn't find where the truck was. I forgot where I parked it, kind of. And so, we approached a group of men, and they helped us to find the truck and even walked us to the truck. And it was great. And it was just so funny because the night before, the Toronto Star put out an article saying that they haven't got an estimate on how many additional rapes there were in the city of Ottawa since the truckers came. And I was like,
they haven't got any information. Well, maybe that's because it didn't happen.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And it was the complete opposite experience. Like, all the men were gentlemen for the most part. I'm sure there was a few that were having a bit too much fun, whatever you want to say. But anyway, I didn't run into those guys.
Yeah.
And then the next,
there was some rambunctious ones. I mean, I remember seeing the ones that were up on the, up on the truck. I don't think they were supposed to be there. They were up on side the F Trudeau on the very, but then somebody went up and got them down. It wasn't long before, it was a very self-regulating environment, I found. And obviously really hard to deal with. Look at this. Look at this.
I'm trying to remember this man's name who's dancing.
Oh, the guy with the long hair?
Yeah.
He was peaceful vibes, man. I don't even know his name.
He was great. We met in Armpire after. No one's seen him since. So if anyone knows where he is.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So the next weekend, I went, I contacted the Peterborough through Unity. Is that it?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Freedom through Unity, Peterborough. Yeah. And then I went down and got a hotel with some of those guys. And then we actually went down to the Bubble Bus area and did the dance party and stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, I wasn't much for the dancing aspect of it when I was there. It was serious for me.
Right.
And so
what was your objective? Like, what did you? I was there to be a neutral observer, as much as I could to take footage and for posterity. But I mean, what was your mission? What were you trying to do?
I think a big part of it was to be boots on the ground. I knew we needed people there. We needed to be there in numbers. That was a big thing for me, especially coming from British Columbia and having a lot of my friends and fellow homeschooling moms out there.
All right.
And I knew that we had talked a lot for hours going through all these mandates, and I knew how much it affected them. And I just knew we needed people there. And that was my main objective. And I wanted just to be one of the sober-minded people. And I met some great people there. I'm also pretty good at seeing who in the crowd is new who might just be there, who's curious and being like that kind of greeter type person.
Okay.
To help people feel comfortable. So if people came in and they were wearing a mask or something, or I could just tell that they were kind of standing back and just looking, I would go up and talk to them. And so that I noticed that I did that quite a bit. And I also brought toe warmers for people. So
toe warmers, is that what you said?
Toe warmers, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I went back to Peterborough and then I came home. Came home to Peterborough and I did a post and I said, I'd like to go back. If anyone would like to help me to pay for a few things, there's things that I see are needed down there. So I noticed that a lot of people really appreciated the toe warmers. And I also brought like some neocitrin and cold effects. I noticed a lot of people were getting sick. So I kind of wanted to go and hand that, like give people some not quite natural medicine, but some stuff just to keep their immune systems up.
Okay.
I think one man, what inspired me to do that was one of the truckers actually died of pneumonia while he was there.
What?
So, yeah. He was yeah.
You're talking about somebody dying, and it's kind of morbid, but whatever. What happened with the other dude? Candace got trampled, and then other dude had a heart attack or something. But did you find out?
No.
You never did.
I don't think anyone ever did. Now that you bring, yeah.
And now I'm curious to the point whereby I actually want to start investigating it because I'd like to know. I've asked the question often enough. Nobody's came back with a "we know what happened to the guy" answer. I'd like to know because
yeah,
because I like to know.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm not a big conspiracy theorist. I wouldn't suggest it's not really my slant. I try to kind of look at things as objectively as possible. But because I'm open-minded, it means that, or at least I attempt to be as open-minded as I can be. I have to consider all sides of a thing as equally as possible if I'm to understand what the actual fundamental truth is of it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I guess we can put it out there tonight, Jim, that if anyone knows what happened to him,
put it in the comments there. It'd be really interesting, or put us in touch with somebody. That'd be great. So, Maggie, what was memorable about the trucker convoy for you? Like, what was it? What sticks in your head? If you're just randomly your Tuesday and doing laundry, and all of a sudden something pops in your head. What kind of thoughts is that?
It's too bad that the thoughts that come to my mind are more of the Emergency Act days. And just after they took the stage and seeing Boom Truck Ben getting sprayed in the face with something, probably some sort of pepper spray, and just stepping back and having, standing in front of Parliament and knowing that they were literally in the chamber voting on whether or not even to pass the Emergency Act. And the police are already clearing the street. And just that really sense of injustice. And I guess
it was the guy who was somewhat sorry?
Yeah.
I'm still getting used to this software, you know that. But the injustice, I wanted to bring up a video now because it's nothing specific, but it's right around the time that you're talking about. It's right around the time when, and I know it was traumatic. Like it was, it was an assault. It was quite literally an assault, and I had experienced this previously at the hands of law enforcement, a physical assault. I'd had my thumb broken and been arrested and incarcerated and all the things. So I knew the drill. I didn't like it. And the fact that regular citizens, law-abiding citizens who pay their taxes and do their things had to be subjected to this type of brutality was absolutely stunning to me.
And the fact that it was all on camera, thousands of cameras, and watching the interviews throughout the whole thing, and everyone is calm for the most part, articulate, smart, good reason for being there, and they did it anyway.
It was
while the world watched.
Like later on in this video, you'll see it. Buddy's just sitting there. Like you can tell that he's probably never been in a conflict in his life. He just came down. It was probably the best time of his life. And then all of a sudden he's sitting there. I'll see if I can scrub through it. Just wondering what the hell just happened.
Yeah.
Like literally it went from this jubilant, incredible, unbelievable show of humanity and peace and love and all that stuff to a bunch of friggin' thugs coming in going, get back, move back with sticks and tack.
Yep.
Just wild, man. I mean,
yeah, I think it all hit us all at different times where we're just like, are they really gonna do this? They're gonna do this right in front of all of us. And it all had to happen for some reason, Jim. You know, this had to happen. And unfortunately,
here's just one shot. Look at, they're kneeling down at the soldiers' feet praying.
Yeah.
Right? Throwing flowers at the feet of the soldier. Like,
yeah. Absolutely.
This is such an important
I sent you a video, Jim. I just found it.
Oh, did you send it over to Church of Bubbles?
I sent it to your messenger.
Oh, messenger. Okay, let me have a look. I gonna do it.
I hadn't seen this video. I'd forgot about it. It was actually really decent of me on the line there.
Okay, all right. That's good. Okay, it's the YouTube one, right?
Yeah, I'll tell you where.
Just wait for this one to do it.
Yeah, you can.
All right. It's the internet's giving me a thing, so just give me a thing.
On fait ça pour la Bible, ça a tout été dans le bien. Il n'y a jamais eu autant de respect pour les corps policiers qu'il y a eu en ce moment depuis 3 semaines. Et on sentait le respect que ça a eu.
Let me know when you have it. I think it's at around 50 minutes. But only if you want to put it on.
Yes, I do. My
in a country where
browser's
all I could think of was the quality of people that were there on the ground with us.
Yeah, it's amazing. You know, doctors and lawyers, the whole thing. Okay, so I want to get over to this. You mentioned 15 minutes in, you said?
I think about 50.
50. All right, let's. I'm gonna get there. Okay, yeah.
Okay, now they understand.
So what is ClickUp? ClickUp is an all-in-one productivity software.
Oh, all right, ClickUp! Woo!
I love how we're figuring out StreamYard. I still feel really flimsy with it.
Oh yeah, I've got so much to learn. I just keep pressing buttons. Eventually, something good's gonna happen. But I do know how to do what we've got to do right now. So I'm gonna do that now. Just hang on a second. We're gonna get into sharing the screen. We're gonna do the thing. Oh,
all right, folks, we're gonna go.
Still time to join the right side.
I've had a flu all week.
Oh no! What the heck? Okay, here we go.
Yeah, that's it.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so this is the front line of O'Connor.
Can you guys just talk about that amongst yourselves later? But when you show up next time,
O'Connor.
So this is before they moved. They switched out these cops with the riot police cops.
That's right. Yeah.
And you'll notice we're right in front of the.
nobody gets crazy, and there's nobody here that's crazy until some,
where the MPs are voting.
Right, and this is CIRC police. What is that? I'm trying to read the badge here. I'll wait till I get I'll get a clear shot. Anyway, but just
so
a
that's
few.
me.
Where?
Yeah, if you just go back, you can.
Go back.
I just watched this. Yeah, I don't know if you can turn it up.
I can.
As long as nobody gets crazy, and there's nobody here that's crazy until some,
I was just taken over by I am not moving.
Canada, forever.
As much as I have
Choice right now. You guys are good.
What changed?
I just remember feeling so calm, Jim.
You look calm. Other than that slappy hand you got.
Yeah, that was my noisemaker because my voice is gone.
It would have been a funny shot if one of the cops would have got slapped across the face with the slappy hand. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Just as a not as a hurting thing, but rather as a I slap you.
So I'm showing this man. I'm like, see, I've put the Bills of Rights down all along the line, and if they step over it.
Ah, you had the Bill of Rights. I see. So they were basically trampling on the Bill of Rights.
Yeah, I was making it really obvious to them what they were doing. I was providing a visual for them. I'm a homeschool mom, right? So I'm gonna show them the props. This is what you're doing.
Right. Did you feel that you got to any of them? Did you end up getting to them?
I think so. Oh, I did for sure, actually, because they didn't like it on the line. One of the police in the back ran up and he snatched it from the line. He didn't want it on the line. He didn't want to have to stomp over it.
Okay.
And the riot police officer who was in front of me when they finally moved forward, you could tell he did not want to hit me with a baton. But I think he was a little worried about what would happen to me behind the line. So he just stood in front of me for a minute and then he just moved around me like that. And
they're individuals.
Yeah.
They're individuals, and it's a tough thing for people to wrap their heads around. But these people, as far as they're concerned, they are doing what is in the best interest of themselves, their family, and even their country and their city. And I mean, it's very easy for us on the other side who are putting up this resistance for what we feel to be a righteous cause, But man, it's tough unless you're there. You lose your living, you're gonna lose your pension. Your friends probably.
Well, and I think that's why they had to call so many emergency acts, because the police just weren't going to, they knew what we were doing wasn't illegal and we had a right to do it. So they just needed to be able to land police in en masse and move them up one block and then send them home. Basically, it was just advance one block, and then go have coffee.
And then you can retire. We'll bring in the new wave and the new wave and the new wave.
Yeah,
dude.
Before their conscience kicks in, right?
I wonder, and I really, I don't know. Maybe I think I'm probably just naive, but I just think that if you told the truth, it would feel so much better. Ladies and gentlemen, if you feel a certain way about a thing, okay, and you don't speak about it, this is you betraying yourself. You're not being real. And I think for anyone who is in a situation whereby they feel conflicted about what they should or shouldn't do, listen to what you're saying on the inside. It'll tell you the right thing to do.
Yeah.
I'll bet they were running out of officers over there. I'm telling you, I'll bet you that's why they emergency acted it and all that other stuff.
And on the other side of the line, when they handed me to the police officer, you've probably heard me say this before, but the first thing he said to me was that the protesters won this today, and that we proved we were peaceful, and that the truth will come out one day. So we absolutely got to them. We absolutely won. We know we did the right thing. We knew that it was unconstitutional. That's why I was willing to be arrested, partly. Like when they were saying on the loudspeaker, you need to clear the area. Anyone in the red zone will be arrested. I was like, no, we won't. What are you arresting us for? I knew it was wrong. And
yeah, it was illegal. How could they arrest you if you didn't do anything?
Yeah, and the day before, we already knew that they were just driving people out of town, that they weren't pressing charges.
Yeah.
So
catch and release program.
So I was like, okay, I'm going to call your bluff. You're not going to make me move one more inch after you did that to all these great people. And you know, I think if we all knelt down on the line by the 100, what would they do, right?
Oh, you know,
with the bubble bus behind us, blowing bubbles.
I have all kinds of things that I would love to discuss that would probably get me in all kinds of trouble. Those are the kind of conversations that happen when we get face to face. And thank you for coming to the Church of Bubbles. It was great to have you. Love to have you address the people that show at some point. I think that'd be great. You're a wonderful example of somebody who gets things done. I really want to talk about what you've done since the Trucker Convoy, man, because I mean, I would love to hear all the things, like, honestly, because people need to hear these things.
Yeah. We've done. Are we going to end the show? Is that where you're going with this, or?
Well, no,
I hear more.
I want to hear more. Like, I think that you specifically, well, Kristen as well. I don't want to take anything away from Kristen, but she was very busy and she had a baby and she's in Costa Rica. Okay. But you and her are of the same from the way I see. You both went about it different ways, but you really knocked it out of the park, both of you. Like, I mean, it's like, when I say knocked it out of the park, folks, like making traction and making change. So yeah, talk about it.
I just
Canada, if you're listening,
I just know
you have to come down here.
When I look at, okay, what am I going to do? I don't have a lot of energy. I actually have a bit of an immune system issue. So my energy is lower and my immune system is lower. So when I choose to do something, I want to make sure that it's going to make an impact. So I am calculated in where I invest my energy. And you know, I'm here in Peterborough and looking around and realizing that we're rallying in the park on Saturday, but we're across from Town Hall. Well, what's going on in Town Hall? And sure enough, they're passing environmental committee reports that are restricting our mobility and saying it's because of we're in a state of climate emergency. And I'm thinking, I think we could do something here, guys. You know, like you go in, there's about 2 people in the room while they're doing these meetings. And I thought, okay, if we can get 50 people in the park, maybe we can get 20 people in the building, you know, where the stuff is actually happening. And that's what we started doing. And pointing out that the global agenda is being implemented at the local level, and that.
Hey, do you want to hear something funny?
Pardon?
Do you want to hear something funny?
Yeah.
You're a WEF person.
WEF. What does that mean? I'm a WEF.
I don't know. The World Economic Forum.
I'm a WEF.
Or a WHO plant or something.
Oh, I know. I know.
Yeah.
I saw that.
I saw it, and I'm like,
I saw that.
I
I don't know. like, I'd love to talk about that sometime, Jim. If anyone would like to have me on to talk about that.
I'm sorry. No. I know, girl. Here, let me tell you something. Whenever the only reason you get pot shots at you is because you're actually doing something. It happens. It happens to me, and it happens to anybody who's actually doing something. So,
yeah. And anyone, it's like an attempt to silence people, right? It's like they don't want people to hear the unique messages. Like if we're talking about just basic, simple solutions that people can get behind, that everyone can do and get involved with and feel good about, like there's a whole army out there of trolls, whatever you want to call them, that have created a lot of trouble in the movement. And I watched something recently and I made a list because it was like all about who is controlled opposition.
Oh,
and
God. I don't even know what that term means. I don't even know what that term means. Anyway,
it was like everyone was controlled. So at the end, I did a little recording on my StreamYard. I didn't post it because it was more for my entertainment.
Right.
But at the end, I should post the end of it at some point and name everyone who's in it. Like, so all these people are bad and these 4 people aren't bad. So go follow them. Don't listen to anyone else.
All the other ones are bad. I find it amazing. I think it's actually a strategy. I think, honestly, one of the things that I've noticed through this live streaming thing is that I became recognizable to others. So it was like a measure of fame, if you will, and it makes people act weird. I really don't. It's a really strange thing, and those who don't have it think that they want it until you get it, and then you probably don't want it.
No, I think almost daily of shutting my page down for a while, but then stuff like this happens and it's like, okay, I'm not going to censor myself, but I'm not going to put a lot of pressure on myself either to just do things for the sake of doing them. Right. It's
right.
I know what you mean, because people think like that they know you because they know your profile, and it does make it difficult, especially if you kind of like your solitude, if you're kind of just like a, deep thinker, solitude kind of person. But at the same time, if you have good ideas, people want to hear that. And
it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing to be recognized. Make no mistake. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, I was like, man, you will recognize me. You will not ignore me. You know what I mean? So I'm getting what I want. Make no mistake. But it's just the things that I don't want come along with it, and I think people need to realize that. And and these handful who want a bunch of attention. I mean, I don't know. I'll give attention to anybody whom I think is shedding light to something that's important for people to know, interesting or enlightening. Kind of lightens them up a little bit.
Yeah. I try and keep things positive, right? For me, it's like I want it to be positive. I want to promote things that people can do that they'll see results with. Something that happens.
Yeah. So some of the action items you talked about, taking them out of the streets and getting them into the councils. So talk about your work with that, because that's as far as I've determined, and I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but just as a segue, municipalities where it's at. I mean, it's the only place where we're actually going to have we're going to have clout. So
yeah, well, and there's so many benefits to working at a community level, right? So ultimately, it's the place where if this country is being reborn, and we want to see real change, then it has to start by restructuring some form of organization at a local level, all across the country, and finding, who is doing the community service, who is doing work with the elderly and the veterans. And like, you have to consider all elements of society when you put it together. And obviously, when we're looking at councils, we are finding people to speak for the needs of their community. And you can start off small with that. You can just go in and speak to the smaller issues. And I think a lot of people are wise now to the global agenda. And if we just have a look at our council meetings, we're going to see that global agenda is being agreed to there. So we can actually make a lot more progress if we have 20 to 100 people working together in an area to bring them to the councils and to get them involved with public awareness campaigns. And ultimately we need to wake the people up, because these mayors and CAOs have a lot more power than we think they do. So we're chasing Trudeau around the country, but his ridiculous mandates and harmful mandates and plans are being implemented by the mayor and the CAO. And now our councillors are being bullied for the most part too. So as much as the trucker convoy exposed a lack of true representation for us at a federal level, what we're doing in the council is exposing the fact that we don't have very good representation at the local level either. And we can actually get a handle on that, because we can break through the media narrative with our neighbors easier than we can across the country. And if we can organize effectively locally, then we can address provincial and federal issues as well. But it really starts with that local organization. And there's groups that are starting to help with this, but I'm honestly shocked, Jim, that in Canada, we don't have regular local councils on local issues. Where did they go? Where are the people? They're not. There's 2 people at your council meeting. There's 30% of people voting for the mayor and council. They don't even pay attention, right?
This sounds like a wonderful opportunity, if you ask me. I mean, if there's only a couple of people who affect all of the change in your community, and those people may not even be the best qualified only because there's not a lot of interest in the area, well, express some interest and we can make that happen now, couldn't we? I saw, just to break down the concerns for somebody who say, well, maybe I don't know enough to be able to do that. I saw one lady just go into the town council up in Huntsville, and she literally read a letter that was pre-written for her. So she had agreed on what she was going to say. She already knew, and she didn't have to deviate from the letter. And that was it. That was all.
Yeah. 5 minutes. So on my website there, gather2030.substack, it's a newsletter. There's a couple speech templates there, and you can go in, 5 minutes and let them know that the global agenda is being implemented at the local level, and they got to be careful if they're agreeing to reports and plans that are being done in consultation with internationally funded consultant groups that are connected with the United Nations. And if these agreements are taking away our rights and taking away our property rights and driving us off the land, then that's a potential act preparatory to the takeover of our nation, which is treason. So we're verbally giving them this notice of liability, right? And we show up with the people, 60 people in a room that normally has 2. And we speak it with love and determination, and not non-aggressively, and let them know that we want to help them step into their true authority, because it looks like at this point they've been partnered with the municipal corporation, which isn't really a de jure government structure. So there's a few elements to this that we're pointing out, and it's true, so it resonates. And so we're just going in and speaking the truth, right? And people are like, whoa, somebody just said that. That makes sense.
You are not in any way, shape, or form a conspiracy theorist or anything like that. You're the furthest thing from irrational or fringy. I mean, you want to come off as plain Jane, ordinary day as anybody. I mean, that sounds like a good approach.
It really does, you know, like take off the freedom gear for a minute, put on your nice clothes, go in there, sit respectfully, follow the code of conduct, speak well to the issues, and get more and more people signed up who are interested in doing this, so that when you go in, you're not just speaking for yourself and 10 people or 65 people. You're speaking for 1,000 people in your area that are concerned about whatever the main issues are in your area. So that's important to know where you're from and what's going on there, because everywhere is a little different. You know, here in Peterborough County, they're trying to pass the official plan. So we went to Duro Dummer, and the day before, they were going to have to vote on that for the entire county. And we pointed out the fact that that they were driving all future growth away from the rural towns to the settlement areas, so the city, and that the provincial mapping was wrong, and they we're basically taking away private property rights in the rural areas, and that the entire official plan was done by the city clerk, who isn't from the area, nor is she elected, and she did it in consultation with an international consultant group, and only posted a link online for public consultation. And the mayor and councillors didn't even know about that link. They didn't even put in their input. No. So, you know, a plan for 2050. Yeah. So I just basically went in and said, hey guys, like, this plan is a plan to kill your township. Notice here, here, and here, right? Like, you see that? And afterward, it was beautiful. The councillors, you know, agreed with what I said, and every point.
My God. You know, I got a good mind. I got a good mind to set up a course called Speak Your Mind course or something. Some, you know, just common sense, speak your mind. Because if we can just do that, you know, and we don't have to be loudmouth about it, but we should be intelligent. Our approach can vary, and as the audience does, but yeah.
And I think it's really important, you know, with this to speak to the audience, not just necessarily read it off, but you can still read it, but, you know, read the room, right? The way that we speak is so important when it comes to touching people's hearts, and we want to get to their hearts. You know, we want to get to the hearts of the people. So we can't talk at them. We need to talk to them. And it does really make a difference. And I believe that these are all men and women that we're trying to get through to. And I think that they're scared too, because once we point this out, that puts them in a position to do something and to stand on the line for us. So that's why I really encourage getting the numbers up and like forming an association at that local level, because they need to know that there is 1,000 people that got their back.
Okay, I was interested in that. I have to tell you, I creeped out that site. The one whereby you have like a referral code or something, and then you have to put in your postal code and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What is that? What is the site? Yeah, go ahead and explain it. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's one option. So that's a group called Take Back Ontario. And it's based off of what they did in Alberta, Take Back Alberta. And they were able to basically get the numbers up of people who are interested in working together in every riding. And I think once they got them to about 50 to 200 people in every riding, they were able to make significant pushes and at the municipal, at all levels of government and the school board as well. So like, it really just comes down to people working together and having a shared aim. And so Take Back Ontario, what we're doing is basically just building the network right now. And once we have 50 people in one area sign up, we'll start doing local meetings. So, and that has it. I don't want to go too much into their aims and plans. Like it's
no problem. There's a lot of initiatives.
Yeah, it's an open meeting, so anyone can go. So there's other groups that you can work with too, but I like stuff like that because it gets local people together and you can just find your people, right?
Right.
That's a win right there.
Yeah, and this is really what the Church of Bubbles wants to do also. It wants to be connective tissue between the different communities and help them speak to one another if whatever, in any way possible. So I'm going to wrap it up now, man. I'm gonna go. That was amazing, dude. You know what? We kept talking and the numbers kept going up instead of going down the way it usually do. So it must have been valuable to people. And ladies and gentlemen, if you did find it valuable, please reach out to Maggie and let her know that. But maybe Maggie, you can leave us off with I don't know, man, just anything you want. Anything you want.
Yeah, I haven't since the convoy, that had a certain feeling to it when you were there, that hope, right? And it just felt like you were on the edge of history, and we were. And recently, a group that I've been working with called Civis for Reform, a lot of really smart people in there, and it seems slow, it's like, but strategy is slow. Making the right moves takes time. And in our last meeting, they read off an amazing 3-page, so far it's being called a declaration, right? That might change, but it really talked about what the basic rights of men and women are, of people, and what we expect the duties of government to be. So that sounds really simple, but when the writing team read it out and went into the history, it was such a beautiful document, and it really showed how far we've fallen in society with our government and what our government is doing versus what we expect it to do based off of our history and the Magna Carta and just all the history of freedom from Greece to now. Like, what is the basic rights, what is the duty of government? And I felt, after when they read that, I felt the same feeling that I had at the convoy, and it gave me hope. And I think that words are powerful and documents are powerful. And I'm really looking forward to working with that group to get that document out. I think it'll change the way we interact with the elected officials, with law enforcement, and it will get everyone back on the same page. And one of my favorite authors that inspired me on the line and every day is Henry David Thoreau. He wrote The Duty of Civil Disobedience. And one of the quotes from that is, "Let every man make known what kind of government would command his respect, and that will be one step closer to achieving it." And I think that when that document hits our movement and ripples out, it's going to change the world. So I'm really proud of all of us for working together, and for all of us for coming together and doing what we did. And the connections that came out of that, the people that met, some of us were there because we've known for a long time that this country wasn't operating as a true de jure government. And it brought enough smart people together to help us move into the next step that our country needs us to make. And hopefully we can keep tyranny at bay for our children's generation. And that's what I wanted to say. Thanks, Jim.
Wow. You're amazing, man. I'm going to do a series, and it's like you're just going to be on every show.
I want to do that. I have a lot of people that I'd love to co-host with you.
Really? I would love that. I think that we should do that. I think that we should. I'm doing it on the Freedom Convoy only because the timing is good, but it's been a catalyst to be able to reach out and have conversations with lots of different people. And I love it. It's fun. You never know what you're going to learn. And other than the copyright, having to jump around from the copyright stuff and, all the nonsense, oh yeah, like I got to go through all of my videos ahead of time and then try to either reduce the volume in the area or make sure I don't use that, or because it seems to be, for those of you who are interested, it always cites about 30 something seconds of a song, and it did it to my thing last night. But the thing was, I didn't have any 30 something second consecutive song because I put bleeps in and I went copyright and then came back again. It doesn't matter. It strings it together somehow. So you got to be really careful if there's any music that's copyrighted in the background and then it screws up your account. Yeah,
you're right. It did that to a video I posted of when we first met in Ottawa on my page there. That was a good one.
Yeah, I remember. I saw that. I saw you. Yeah, it was very cool. Anyway, that's the first time we met. That's the first time you came into my. Yeah. So anyway, thank you for all you do. On behalf of Canadians, I'm going to roll through here. I'm going to play a little bit of footage and roll through. I want to zip through all of the comments that I didn't get to, that I didn't release as we were speaking. So that because I can't. I'm looking at you. I can't. But I want to thank you so much. I'd love to do something with you anytime. I think that the work that you do is very, very important. I think it's explained in a way that's very easily understandable and applicable, which is the most important part. Talk's cheap.
Yeah. Thank you for everything you do, Jim. Thank you for being solid and calm and a voice of reason and happiness and bringing the bubbles.
Thank you. It's a decision, and it ain't that way every day. But if I'm going to be in front of others, they deserve that at the very least. We want to be upbuilding to humanity if we can, right?
Yeah, that's the whole point of life, right?
Yeah, for real.
Take care of yourself and make the world a bit better. That's it.
My gratitude grows ever since I decided that it needed to, because I didn't appreciate things enough, and then. And things come in your life, and all of a sudden you start appreciating life because things start moving and shifting. And I don't know, man. Gratitude. You can never go too wrong with just appreciating the things that are going right.
Amen. That's so true.
Well, all right, Maggie.
Thank you to everyone who commented and watched. Appreciate it. So
yeah, and if you want to find Maggie, you go. Where do they go to find you?
Maggie Hope Braun on Facebook and TikTok. And Gather 2030 on YouTube and Substack.
All right, y'all get that.
Okay.
All right, take care, girl.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen. How are ya? Good night. Have a good one. I'm gonna put the volume up on this. I think we're good. It's the nighttime cruise. We'll play it for a little while, then we're gonna fade it away. 7 o'clock every night, the whole convoy, the whole dang convoy. And I think we're probably going to go to Ottawa. Yeah, I think next weekend we're probably going to go to Ottawa. So I want to interview people live as they're going back 2 years to commemorate and to celebrate, which thank you. She just told me why I should be happy, because, I sometimes we need reminders. Peace out, folks. Have a good one. Yeah, boy. There is a distinct lack of washrooms down here, so make sure you come down, figure out where they are before you get, you know, too far.
What's up, man?
Yeah, buddy. Freedom! Freedom! Always! I know, right? Hardcore.
You're sleeping in a lawn chair in the middle of the fucking street in front of Parliament.
Yelling freedom while half awake.
There's Ryan the Bubble Bowser, buddy! I love you, Ryan.
Yeah, this is nothing but good times down here, man. I gotta tell you. A little stressful at times, but the people make up for it. Yeah. That guy's, it's the same guy.
He's relentless.
Yeah.
He wants to be a star.
So you'll notice there's a car coming down here. These lanes, the truckers have made available for emergency vehicles and police vehicles, yet the police won't allow them to deliver fuel. That's why you're seeing people running in with cans, hand bombing the cans. And not only are they not allowing them in, but they're confiscating the fuel cans, which according to many, international rights lawyers, is in contravention to a whole bunch of codes that basically says you can't deprive people of their necessities of life. Well, guess what? It's happening, and we're witnessing it, and we're hoping we don't see it tonight, but we'll keep our eyes open. Another really cool thing is everybody who's come out here and volunteered, they're shoveling the roads. That's right, folks, you heard it. The city is not coming in to clean the roads. The city is not coming in to change out the washrooms. All of these things we're doing on our own, with our own money, for the comfort of those who are here to fight for the freedom. So check this out. This guy lost a couple tires. Yeah. Good to see you, buddy.
You too, brother.
I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, look at that. See, look what I'm saying. These guys are removing the tires. Look. Look this, motherfucker.
And there's another address.
That's 00. Oh, that's 02.
Okay, 02 Wellington and
if you're looking
O'Connor.
for mail to 011's on the other side.
Okay.
This is the other side of the block.
Nice. Thanks for doing what you do, buddy.
Hold the line.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
You need the real pictures, do it all around the world with this truck.
Around the world? What? This truck?
With this truck with me.
Which one?
I'm there.
You're there? Dude, you're the guy. You're it. You're him. Yeah.
I take a picture.
Yeah.
He's give us at me some fascists and racists. The first things at the business at my friend on Google. So I take a lot of. He's give us 1 star. So I give us to all the convoy. Give us a 5 star on this business. 5 star.
What is the name of the business? How can people give you 5 stars?
Maître Castor.
Mike Castor?
Maître Castor.
Maître Castor.
Le maître.
La maître?
Le maître Castor.
Okay, come. Yes, this is yours.
Is that my friend? He's
your friend.
He's a competitor at my business. He's a friend, and all the people on my on this job.
Yes.
You know, I'm arborist. These guys too. So all things you stand all the gang, and you have a job for us. So all people's work, and it's okay.
Yeah. Wow. So you will help your competitor for freedom. Excellent, brother. Well, thank you very much for coming out, man.
Thank you, man.
Really appreciate it. All right. Something warm? No, we're gonna go do a patrol. We want to make sure.
I have a lot chilled room here.
Yeah. Okay. We'll come back later. Yeah. All right, brother.
All right, guys.
So he's saying he's got a chill room for us. We can hang out there if we choose. But right now we're on patrol, so we're gonna get back to it, huh?
Ryan was going to come on and we were going to talk about our time, but Ryan's got a new job, so he's doing the right thing.
So many friendly people. There's little places to warm up, little places to grab food. Great conversations and smiles everywhere you go. It's pretty amazing. Feels like a cross between a protest and a festival. Let's call it a pro-festival, huh? Huh? Protestival. Ooh. How many enterprising young people are going to go out there and register the domain name, create a site, and make $1 million? Good for you. Get to it. That's what I'm talking about. The police can drive through here, no problem, but they won't allow us to deliver fuel. And out here yesterday, there was an anti-protester protester. Not really sure what that is. But, you know, they said go home terrorists and all that kind of stuff. And a group of people just stood around and didn't react. A couple had a conversation with her. Amazing how we can all get along if we want to.
Okay, why do you guys keep coming? There's 28 of you, 27 of you. Man, go home already. If there's less people here, I'm not apt to continue. So if you go home, then I won't continue to play it. But if you stay, I'm going to have to keep playing it. And there's like a bunch left. So, you know, just saying.
This one's Kent. All right, here we are. Ah, yeah. So most of these streets 1 block away from Parliament have been cleaned out, but
How long you been down here?
I just got down here today, man.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I was talking to people and talking to come back. We're for 2 days, so I was
Oh yeah, right on that up there. They grew up in Clarkson.
where?
Clarkson.
Carson.
Clarkson's rods are good for that. Good man. Have a good night, buddy.
so as we're going down the street here, this is Kent Street. We're moving away from Parliament. You'll notice they put up these big concrete blockades to prevent the trucks from coming in. Where they have not, they've parked vehicles so they can move them. We're expecting if there's an incursion from the exterior that many of the interior vehicles will move. You know, one of the things that it seems like both sides here agree on, maybe not the government, but the citizens of Ottawa and the truckers, is that there's a lot of unused space leading all the way up to Parliament, and that is not residential, okay? That's all commercial and it's all governmental. So, you know, the idea that there's all this empty space while we're jammed up into the neighborhoods doesn't seem to make sense to the neighbors or the truckers. So I think if the government was using their brain, they'd go, okay, let's appease the citizens and the truckers by allowing them to protest outside of Parliament, which is what they came here to do. Now, they're doing it anyway, but because the city's not helping out, guess what? They're jamming up the streets. So you notice we just saw that guy jump up in that truck, and then my buddy had a talk with him just to kind of vet him out. Whenever you see somebody looking into vehicles, jumping on vehicles, you know, doing anything suspicious, we're gonna have a quick conversation with them to find out what their intentions are.
Freedom.
You better look at that. See, there's some cans sitting here, and I want to make sure nobody makes away with them, including the police, especially the police.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to shut this down in 7 minutes and 32 seconds. 7 minutes and 32 seconds left. Good one.
Nice and quiet time to see all the trucks, isn't it? Now this truck here has a big boom on it and a big crane, and they set up that flag. There's a flag on the top of it, and they had it right out into the intersection the other day. So look for that happening again.
Thanks so much for joining us today, folks. Honestly, it was a blast. It really was. You guys rock.
See, almost all these side streets here are clear. which allows for the traffic to get through, no problem. Check this thing out. There's a tree at the top there. There's a tree. Isn't that wild? A little tree growing out of the top of that statue.
Look at it from the back, it's a spinal column.
What's that, brother?
Look at it from the back, it's a spinal column.
Really?
We got your back of your neck meets the base of the skull.
Oh, where the back of your neck meets the base of your skull. It's a spinal column. Ah, dude, I like it. All right. It sure as heck doesn't look like there's going to be much police action tonight. But then again, maybe they just want us to feel that way.
Right there. See that? See that? No human's lesser than others. It just don't work that way.
Nice and quiet on the streets. Yeah, there's the odd guy out at every intersection or whatever, so it looks like we do have eyes on the streets, which is good. But we're going to try to maybe get to where there might not be so many eyes and more problems.
Peace, brother. Peace, man. I probably wanted to do that right then and there, but couldn't because I would have woke him up. Just passed out.
Hey, brother, how you doing? Hey, we're doing a little patrol out tonight, making sure everything's all good and there's no officers taking police cans and no offside humans to wreck the cars. So how have you found things, man? It's good? Yeah, I've been here for a while. Yeah, awesome. Well, I probably just caught you up as you're sleeping. I don't want to... Oh, no? Haven't slept yet? Oh, shit. You up this time? Why?
Just up at this time of night.
It is a great time of night. I'm not usually up, but I'm glad we're here. Hey, man, what's the coolest thing you've seen so far? Love you, brother. I guess I shouldn't do my daytime grilling when the guy just woke up, you know? Gotta tone it down at nighttime because I'm speaking to a nighttime audience. You know, we gotta cruise the streets and be calm, cool, collected. You know, we gotta chill out. We gotta ride the crest of the wave of life. Welcome to your late night host. It's Ryan and Bubble. Just one single bubble. Church of Bubbles loves you on all of the platforms. Follow us and stuff. Now, although you are seeing some tents out here, folks, I'm not suggesting that you live in them. I think they're mostly keeping materials in. It does get pretty damn cold out here.
Andy Hillary.
And this is the trailer full of donated items. This whole thing is filled with food and toiletries and clothing. And ooh, look at that. They got cookies. They got shampoo. And this whole trailer filled with it. Filled with it. A little place to prepare here. All kinds of these little tents that are popping up everywhere. Look at all this stuff that's been donated.
Driving moistly.
Right? That is packed with paper products.
Moistly. It's like our last minute together.
I guess they got the trucks so they can carry the goods, huh?
Yeah, man, I gotta go.
What'd you get, buddy? Candies and cookie.
All right, I got like 50 seconds.
Okay, so this is Kent Street. We're up a couple of blocks now.
Everybody leave quick.
All is quiet.
7 o'clock tomorrow night. Okay, 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Yeah, and every night the convoy's on. We're doing a reliving of it with different people, and all the people are cool, and it would be cool to have you. Okay? All right, cut this thing short in 2 hours here. 30 seconds left. See, why does the numbers go up when I say there's less time? This is horrible. You guys make it difficult on me, man. I guess it was kind of arbitrary rule, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's me switch, isn't it? Oh!
How y'all doing? Doing good?
You're welcome, Mud Shark.
So now we're into the residential areas.
My face, man.
And once this moratorium's over, it's going to get loud again. So let's hope the government...
Bye. I love Thundra.